Trastevere, T-Ra currency say eːvere is the 13th rione of Rome, on the west bank of the Tiber, south of Vatican City, and within Municipio I. Its name comes from the Latin Trastevere, meaning literally beyond the Tiber. The correct pronunciation is Trastevere, with the accent on the second syllable. Its logo is a golden head of a lion on a red background, the meaning of which is uncertain. To the north, Trastevere borders onto the 14 rione, Borgo. History: in Rome's regal period, the area across the Tiber belonged to the hostile Etruscans. The Romans named it Ripa Etrusca. Rome conquered it to gain control of and access to the river from both banks, but was not interested in building on that side of the river. In fact, the only connection between Trastevere and the rest of the city was a small wooden bridge called the Pons Sublicius. By the time of the Republic c. 509 BC, the number of sailors and fishermen making a living from the river had increased, and many had taken up residence in Trastevere. Immigrants from the east also settled there, mainly Jews and Syrians. The area began to be considered part of the city under Augustus, who divided Rome into 14 regions. Modern Trastevere was the 14th and was called Trans Tiberim. Since the end of the Roman Republic, the quarter was also the center of an important Jewish community, which inhabited there until the end of the Middle Ages. With the wealth of the imperial age, several important figures decided to build their villi in Trastevere, including Clodia and Julius Caesar. The Regio included two of the most ancient churches in Rome, the Titulus Calixti, later called the Basilica di Santa Maria in Trastevere, and the Titulus Cecilio, Santa Cecilia in Trastevere. In order to have a stronghold on the right bank and to control the Gianicolo Hill, Trastevere was partially included by Emperor Aurelian inside the wall erected to defend the city against the Germanic tribes. In the Middle Ages, Trastevere had narrow, winding, irregular streets. Moreover, because of the Mignani, there was no space for carriages to pass. At the end of the 15th century, these Mignani were removed. Nevertheless, Trastevere remained a maze of narrow streets. There was a strong contrast between the large, opulent houses of the upper classes and the small, dilapidated houses of the poor. The streets had no pavement until the time of Sixtus IV at the end of the 15th century. At first bricks were used, but these were later replaced by sanpietrini, which were more suitable for carriages. Thanks to its partial isolation and to the fact that its population had been multicultural since the ancient Roman period, the inhabitants of Trastevere, called Trasteverini, developed a culture of their own. In 1744, Benedict XIV modified the borders of the rione, giving Trastevere its modern limits. Nowadays, Trastevere maintains its character thanks to its narrow cobbled streets lined by ancient houses. At night, natives and tourists alike flock to its many pubs and restaurants, but much of the original character of Trastevere remains. The area is also home to several foreign academic institutions including the American University of Rome and John Cabot University, the American Academy in Rome, the Rome campus of the Thomas More College of Liberal Arts, the Canadian University of Waterloo School of Architecture, and the American Pratt Institute School of Architecture, therefore serving as home to an international student body. The unique character of this neighborhood has attracted artists, foreign expats, and many famous people. In the 60s and 70s, the American musicians-composers Frederick Rzewski and Richard Teitelbaum, of the group Musica Elettronica Viva, lived in Via della Luz. Sergio Leone, the director of spaghetti westerns, grew up in Via El Glorioso, and went to a Catholic private school in the neighborhood. Ennio Morricone, the film music composer, went to the same school, and for 1 year was in the same class as Sergio Leone. Education: public libraries in Trastevere include Casa della Memoria e della Storia. See also Leonine City. References: Bibliography, Coarelli, Filippo. Guida archeologica di Roma. Milano, Arnoldo Mondadori editor. External links: Rome Trastevere Travel Guide from Wiki Voyage.